This is reposted.
Father of three, Larry Olson. We have a quote today. It's more of an idea, I guess. It's the title of an article that I found on medium.com. And it says, memorization is not student intelligence. I have a vivid memory of being in elementary school and 6 times 8 is 48. And I knew that kind of rhyme. Looking back, I don't think that was really learning, but that's what is being taught. What's going on with kids nowadays? What do you think?
You know why you don't need to memorize anything anymore, Andrew?
The internet.
Well, because you have a quantum computer in your pocket.
Yeah.
Like, my favorite answer to the questions my kid asks me all the time, sitting around the deal, like, hey, Dad, how do you spell supercalifragilistic? And I say, why don't you ask Google? And they say, hey, Google, how do you spell? And it's right on the screen. Hey, Dad, what's the capital of Mongolia? Hey, guys, why don't you ask Google? It's all there. When I read this, I thought, we need to teach kids is how to access information and the right way to memorize things, but not to memorize things.
I agree with this for the most part, but just for argument's sake, I think there is a baseline level of memorizing, like spelling. You can look up how to spell anything, but if you don't have any clue, maybe even memorizing the times tables up to 10 is worth memorizing, because sometimes having quick access to information is important. But at the end of the day, you do need to understand how to get there. To be able to even plug into a calculator, you have to have a baseline understanding. So I agree with this, but maybe you can tell me where the line is on what I need to memorize.
No, once again, I come back to that. I read an article too, and it said basically you have to be able to learn to memorize, to access your brain for those skills so that you can move on to other types of exercises, mental exercises. If you never learn how to memorize, you really can't do anything, actually.
Right. Yeah, I guess having free space in your brain to be able to do stuff. Mark Zuckerberg says he wears a black T-shirt every day because he doesn't want to think about anything else. But then when the internet goes down, where's the space in your brain? If I'm driving around Los Angeles, I know how to get home. My fiance, Nicole, if her phone dies, she does not know how to get home. So I think you need to have a balance of it. Understand.
That was a major source of argument for me and my wife when we first met, because that was 18 years ago, right when Google Maps is coming on the scene. And she would just go line by line directions on Google Maps. And I'd always be like, hey, how about you understand where north, south, east, and west is in relation to the maps, so that, right, when you get lost, you know kind of where you are.
Which I guess is an example of Google Maps memorized it for her, and rather than understanding it or having intelligence, she went away. So basically, I'm just saying your wife is not intelligent. Hopefully, she doesn't listen to this.
I will say this. My wife has memorized the entire Footloose movie.
Oh.
So that's a counter to her not being smart. And David danced. She's memorized the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I am so envious of people that know movie lines. Like when you're at a party or somewhere and you just have this right movie line and you pop that out. My brain literally is the size of a pea. I can't memorize anything. But I love when people have movie quotes just on the ready.
One other example where I think memorization is applicable, and you could argue this is not memorization, but muscle memory for sports. Taking 10,000 three-point shots, you're going to be better than understanding how to take a three-point shot. So we're talking about this idea, and I'm basically trying to poke holes in it. But
it's funny, kind of been focusing on kids and how they learn. But I think really memorization becomes a lot older at the end of life. Ray Romano, the famous comedian, has said that he has Alzheimer's, runs in his family, and he's recently started doing a lot more memorizing. He actually plays this Sporkle Live trivia game. Thank you very much. So that he keeps his brain working and keeps the neurons and nerves firing. Yeah. And I think actually, later on in life, you need to memorize, maybe not earlier in life.
Yeah. Do your 3 kids know your phone number?
Yes, they know mine and my wife's.
I know mine, my parents' home line, and my friend Eric's cell phone number. I randomly have that memorized. I don't even know Nicole's phone number.
I have all of my buddies that I grew up with. I have all their parents' phone numbers memorized because I was always calling, for sure.
I definitely. There's a couple of high school parent ones in the background, but yeah.
So this is my challenge to my kids. On my 50th birthday, I want them to memorize this song. It's called Alphabet Aerobics. It's by Black Alicious. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do.
Alligator, amazing. But I saw it about 5 years ago. Daniel Radcliffe, Harry Potter,
Yeah.
memorized the entire rap song. And he said it kind of helped him learn the rhythms of how to speak lines. And I saw that. I'm like, okay, one of my kids, one of you little suckers has got to memorize Alphabet Aerobics.
The very first commercial I ever booked was for Taylor Swift, and I had to lip sync to the song Shake It Off. And I listened to it probably 50, 60 times, and it's tattooed in my brain. My ex-man brought his new girlfriend, said, oh my God, I just want to shake it. To the fellow over there with the hella good hair, would you come on over, baby, and shake, shake.
You know, I know I've asked you this 1,000 times. We haven't got to this yet, but like actors must have all sorts of tricks to memorize lines because Mark Wahlberg can't be the smartest person in the whole wide world, but damn it, he's got these long monologues and he memorizes them.
No, you just do it. Philip Seymour Hoffman was in an interview saying, how do you do it? He's like, I do it the exact same way you would. It's not pretty. I mean, you get better at it, but there's no like mnemonic tricks of writing stuff down.
Really?
Well, for me, the struggling actor, I don't have a trick. Maybe for someone else, but I think it's just repetition.
Here's my last trick I want you to show me. Name me the first 5 elements of the periodic table. How well did you memorize that?
Hydrogen, helium, nitrogen, carbon, bromine. Guys, if you have the periodic table memorized, please reach out. We can talk biochemistry. You can find us at Reposted Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. I'm Andrew Keller for Larry Roberts' anniversary, September 8th, saying thanks for stopping by.